We celebrate love, and our love is always evolving.
All right, this week on Truth Be Told, this is the power couple interview you do not want to miss. AJ and Emile. Hi, friends.
Hello.
Power
God.
couple.
I know. Wow.
I think they looked at each other.
Sure.
Oh my God, what?
We'll take it, I guess.
Well, I want to dig in a little bit into the origin story, and you two met through work. Buckle up. You met through work, but Emile, a little birdie told me like you're not out at the time. So
I was not.
I want to know a little bit about that dynamic. And what was it about AJ that got your attention?
I ended up at a company that did after shows. Before after shows are what they are now, It was pretty much after shows for any show you could think of. And it'll be a panel of 2 to 4 people. And I was the main host of that panel.
It was Maria Menounos' network, called AfterBuzz.
And there was one other host with me. And then the next week they said, oh, we're going to be bringing in 2 additional hosts. And I believe it was Kaori Take and AJ Gibson. And so I looked them up. And I remember when I searched his name, I was like, oh, I don't know if he's gay or not. And I was still very much in the closet. I remember the day that we were supposed to do the taping, I sat outside in my car and waited until this sounds so creepy every time I tell this.
You're a creeper. You're obsessed with me.
I waited until he parked because there was very limited parking on the street. So we all the hosts had to park in a certain area. So I was like, okay, he's not here because I got there early to make sure that I beat him. And then I was sitting in my car with like the seat back like that. And I saw him walk by and I was like, whoa, he's tall too. Because if you can't tell, he's 6'5.5", I'm 6'3". And then we did the show together. And that first time we met is on camera, which is really cute. And we became friends first. We were friends for like 5 months before we officially started dating. Okay. And I think what attracted me to him was AJ was very kind. I think us becoming friends first was really important for me because it built a foundation that I think makes us really strong. Because even looking back, we would talk outside for like 2 or 3 hours after we were done with the show. And then we started taking hosting class together. So we have the same hosting mentor. And we just found
we would talk or not talk for hours and still find things to not talk about.
I mean, it's so funny because I was listening to you share your how you met story. And I was like, the question I tossed to you was, what caught your attention? And it just sounded like, well, everything did.
Yeah, I mean, he was tall, he was kind, he's personable, he can literally talk to anybody, he lights up a room. Like, it was when you watch that first moment of us meeting, I was very much in the closet, but I was trying hard not to blush, and it was hard for me to look at him because
I knew right away.
Yeah, I was very into him.
So I was a little bit flirty from the jump. I actually, funny enough, that very first moment we met on camera, it's a YouTube video and I think a TikTok now, and he introduced his lovely co-hosts, and then I made a joke about him calling me lovely, and he blushed so hard on camera.
First day?
And yes, day one. Day. 11 years later, or 10 years later, as we're getting married in Mexico, we're standing there giving our vows to each other, and I used the word lovely in my vows back to him because it's the first compliment he ever gave me.
While crying.
Cool. Yeah, we were bawling. We were a mess.
It sounds like you've been able to develop and advance your truth by finding and developing that in each other together and deciding to explore that together. Yeah. So that's what we share should really be.
Of course, we share. Like, we celebrate love, and our love is always evolving. And this guy's so talented. So we actually just did an interview recently with Gay Cities, and then it aired on Queerty, and it's about we call it the Love Trilogy. This is so wild, but this is us. We work in Hollywood, so we're extra.
Ask him who came up with the name.
Who?
You. I didn't come up with Love Trilogy.
I know. It was me.
Oh.
So, but this guy right here documents everything we do. He's the most talented editor. He's just brilliant. And our honeymoon, he ended up making into sort of a movie. It was not quite a full feature.
It's an hour and 42 minutes.
It was a lot. No, not our. So first of all, our proposal. Oh. So we did the proposal. And then we also made our wedding into a film. And then we made our honeymoon in Bora Bora into a film, which concluded the 3-part trilogy. I
grew up in a household where my dad recorded everything, every iteration of camcorder we had. And so I'm so used to documenting everything. And then I'll to this day still watch my childhood videos. So as far as kids go, we don't know at this point because the world is just can you curse on here?
Right.
A show. But if we do have kids, I just think that's so beautiful that they can watch that. And specifically for the wedding, my dad wasn't able to come, and there were a couple, my sister wasn't able to come. There are a few family members who support us, but they weren't able to come. And I really wanted them to feel like they were there and feel like they were really immersed in the experience. So when I edit, I always want people to feel those emotions. I focus on music. I focus on transitions. I focus on all these things to make sure that I'm capturing all the feelings of the event.
And low-key, we'll pour ourselves a couple glasses of wine every now and then and just sit on the couch on the weekend and watch our travels, because it's kind of fun to look back.
I'm curious to hear your take on how the concept of love has changed in your life and meeting each other also, and how that's helped to define your truth.
We've created our own rules for our relationship.
Yeah.
And I think that's the very first, that foundation, that honest communication and saying, what do I want? What do you want?
But it wasn't always like that, because we've been together for so long. It's evolved over time. And so back when we were doing our podcast, it was started based off of a concept that we kind of an activity that we did our own version of, and we got completely naked, not for a sexual reason. And
we were stripped down.
Yeah, stripped down, completely naked.
Didn't Christina Aguilera do a stripped? Was there
I think so.
Single or something at some point?
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think it's on like the influencer checklist, right?
But we got on our bed completely naked, and we faced each other with our legs crossed, and we revealed our greatest fears, desires, and I'm talking about sexually,
kinks,
life, like everything. We talked about things that maybe we hadn't revealed to the other person before. And it was hard. It was hard because we were literally, even when you're with somebody, and as long as we've been together, when you're with somebody, you give them parts of yourself, right? But in a lot of relationships, it feels like there's still certain things you're like, ooh, I can't tell. You can tell your best friend that, but I can't tell my partner that. And he is my best friend. And so we wanted this full transparency between us. And that was probably 6 or 7 years in. And we've kind of kept that foundation of, okay, you can tell me anything. I can't tell you how I'm going to react to it until you tell me, but you can tell me anything. And we're knowing that we're coming to that in a safe space.
Because I feel that so many queer people are people pleasers. I know that I have been my entire life. Because you want to just shut down the trauma or the arguing or the questions and push them aside and distract. That's why we're quick and witty and funny, and we make people smile and feel good. Because if people are smiling and they're feeling good, they're not asking questions and they're not judging, right? They're less likely to. So it kind of puts the focus off of you as an individual. And so to flip that and to actually be in that space together was transformational. And that's just what worked for us.
Yeah.
I think that any relationship should have a moment like that where they say, who are we? What do we want? Is this working? If not, how can we fix it? Should we fix it? Or should we move on and be just friends?
Yeah.
You know, and as a gay man, most of so many of my exes are all friends of mine now, right? So we're such a small community. And I think that's more common in our community for that reason.
I'm very excited for the next trilogy, whatever that might be. And this whole dynamic together, this is why I'm dubbing you the power couple of the ages. So,
thank you.
I appreciate you guys and your vulnerability and your story and unpacking a little bit of everything together. So thank you guys.
Well, thank you for having us.
To see even more episodes of Truth Be Told, check us out at Plus Life Media and pluslifemedia.com. Until next time, let your truth be told.